Hey guys, what's up? It's your Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm here at Loki Kia in Palm Harbor, Florida, and guess what? I have that family hauler from Kia that's getting some changes. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 updated, changed up, and refreshed Kia Carnival EX. But before we get into what Kia calls an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle, but everybody else calls it a minivan. Before we get into this vehicle, let's talk about what's going on here. Kia, they're really showing and flexing their design muscle, obviously bringing a lot of technology and bringing more of an upscale feel to the brand. Now, what's fascinating is that the Carnival came out just a couple years ago. It replaced the Sedona, the Kia Sedona. And Kia really worked hard to try to not call this a minivan. They called it an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle. Well, whatever you call it, what it's gonna be able to do is hopefully haul all the people in your life and all of the stuff around and do it in a better way than what an SUV can do. Now, the interesting thing is, one of the big dogs in the auto industry, Honda, has come out with an update and a refresh of the Honda Odyssey. So that brings up the big question. What do? Do you go with the Kia Carnival or do you go with the updated Odyssey? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our ivory silver, very, very pretty color, ivory silver Carnival and find out. Right off the bat, the overall design and dimensions. It really is probably one of the minivans that looks closest to an SUV. It's almost like a long wagon rather than a minivan. But at the front of the business, you're gonna see that new color. We featured it first on the EV9. It's called Ivory Silver. It's a silver with a nice sort of gold pearlescent pop to it. Looks spectacular in the sun. We work our way down, you have new headlight housing design. So we have LED headlights, triple stacked, and then you're gonna have your LED daytime running lamp and turn signal all built in together. I like the way the daytime running lamp comes into the tiger nose grille. Working your way down, smooth body finish, body color, flat black and some flat silver on the lower portion. Now, as we come across the new grille, updated for 2025, you can clearly see the tiger nose shape to it. And it's interesting because these dark chrome accents with the gloss black, they almost look like teeth. Doesn't it sort of look like teeth? Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm just smoking something or does it actually look like teeth in the tiger nose grille. Now, working your way down, I like that aluminum style that they bring. And then on the bottom portion, you are gonna get full functionality, flat black with more of that flat metallic silver. That's gonna be good down here because it's gonna take a better beating up top than if it was gloss. And then up top, you have all the nice shiny stuff that isn't gonna get beaten up by all the sand and the rocks and all that other stuff. Now, as we rise up, you can see how the hood intersects with the tiger nose grille, very clean. You got the Kia badge. And then I've always liked what they did to the center of the hood here. Gave it a little bit of a bulge just to make it look a little bit more muscular, not so soft like a Chrysler Pacifica. Chrysler Pacifica has got to be the softest of the minivans. This one has a little bit more purpose to it. Now, as we spin around the corner, of course, we're gonna have new wheels and tires. So what do we got going on? Very interesting wheel setup. So you're gonna have this square cover covering all the lug nuts with your Kia badge, gloss black with the machined aluminum accents all the way around. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? You're basically looking at 19-inch wheel on the EX trim. Obviously, you go different trims, you'll get different size wheels. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, that wheel looks like it came off an EV9, you're 100% correct. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to blend some of the style of their ICE vehicles, this being one of them, with the EV vehicles to kind of bridge the gap. But let me know if you're digging the wheel, especially with our particular ivory silver. Now, when we come down the side, everything is painted, no flat black. We do have body color ivory silver on the mirror cap, LED turn signals. You do have the gloss black on the bottom portion. They black out the A-pillar. I think this is a quality that helps it not look so much like a minivan. And then a nice long flat roof with your raised roof rail, with that metallic silver like I showed you on the bottom of the front nose of this thing. And you can get your crossbars, your cargo basket, whatever you want to put up there. Now, from the side, they do a good job hiding some of the elements of it being a minivan. For one thing, the rear sliding door. Here is the track. The track runs nicely into the body line, so that was smart the way they did that. I do like the aluminum style on top of the door handles with the body color, and then they just went flat black on the bottom. And like I said, that's gonna take a better beating over time. As we work towards the rear, let me know if you're finally digging this decorative trim. I think it's a good way to kind of spruce things up. It's got a nice textured feel to it, and the way that it flares out in the center, but then it tapers down very, very thin and actually follows all the way around to the other side. So let me know what you think about that rear decorative design. Love the quarter window, how it has no like metal edge, so it blends in nicely with the rear glass. And then when we get to the back, just like we started up front, you're gonna have all new lighting, LED taillights. The bar lights up to right about here, and then it picks up on the other side. Carnival badge, nice and smooth to the body. And then as we go down, you'll notice that you just have a clean, super clean lower bumper area. The flat black, the flat metallic silver. And I think the reason why this rear end looks better than the Odyssey, no rear wiper, no exposed rear wiper. It's underneath that long spoiler up top. So that's the nice thing about that, is that it just cleans up the whole rear. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about what's powering our Carnival. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Now, new for 2025, there is a hybrid gonna be available, but it's not yet at dealerships. But stay tuned to Raiti's Rides, because we're gonna be bringing that to you. So what do we have underneath the hood if we don't have the hybrid? First of all, you got a pretty cool looking engine cover for a minivan. I have to admit that. We have the naturally aspirated V6, and that to me makes more sense when comparing it to the Odyssey, because the Honda Odyssey still has its tried and true naturally aspirated V6. It's a 3.5 liter V6, 290 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission, front wheel drive, of course. The curb weight is 4,644 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. Top speed is governed to 118 miles an hour. MPGs, 19 in the city, 26 on the highway. So obviously, for those who want more fuel sipping capability, you're gonna have to wait for the hybrid, but we got the V6, so let's fire it up and hear this thing move. All right, guys, we are inside this updated, changed up 2025 Kia Carnival EX. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm actually gonna bite the bullet. I said to myself when I was a small boy, I would never drive a minivan, but I just found out that I got 2 extra kids that I didn't know about. That means I got a total of 8 kids, and an SUV ain't gonna cut it. So how much is this Kia Carnival? Smart decision to just bite the bullet, even though you made the promise. MSRP for this particular one, being an EX trim, is $42,360. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, new material style. I like the two-tone that's going on. You have the dark black with a little bit gray finish around that giant silver door handle, and then you'll see the dark gray finish. No gloss black around the switch gear. Really makes the door panel pop nicely with some different color, and it's nothing too in your face. Door pocket is large enough easily to get 4 Papadillas in there for Papa John's and a bottle of Coca-Cola to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. You got the stitching, the soft touch material, this gray finish with the black, and then this darker gray. It's like a tan gray. I like the way they got a little bit of a nook here. This is for either a bag of Cheetos, a bag of Doritos, or a bag of Fritos. It's either going to be those three because they all kind of rhyme. That's why. When it comes to infotainment system, now you get the new 12.3-inch infotainment system, full touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It's got all the familiar apps that you're used to in a Kia vehicle. Throw it into reverse. Nice resolution on the backup camera. Happy to see, super clear with trajectory. And then we're right back where we started. You got your TFT LED display here. This is how you adjust your blower fan. And then you have your dual climate control. Down below we have two USB-Cs, a 12-volt, wireless charging, and a place for two of those king-size Hershey's chocolate bars. Just pure Hershey's chocolate. Fit that right in there. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic transmission. Two cup holders. You do have a good-looking key fob with the silver trim. Here's your drive mode selector button. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. On the EX, you just have 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats. But you do have the Kia Twinkie tray here. Love the gray material with the stitching. Open it up, and you can put a bowl of Fruity Pebbles in there. Nice milk, a big old spoon. And then what's great, what I used to love as a kid with Fruity Pebbles is when you're done eating the cereal and then you drink the milk, it's got like this fruity rainbow flavor to it. Really, really great way to start your day. Energize. Seats, leather style material, simple, clean. I don't need a bunch of stitching and all this other junk. We do have power electric seats for the passenger, power electric seats for the driver. No sunroof on an EX trim. Just something to think about. But you do have the chauffeur style seat. Look how I'm able to move the seat being the driver, or you can move the seat being a passenger. But why don't you get and move your booty over here? I want to show you behind the new steering wheel in this K5 Carnival. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings because remember, just like passenger side, we have a full power seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and of course you're gonna get a ton of room in here. It's organized very well. Steering wheel, the leather, flat black on the switch gear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you do have a new 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster behind the wheel with the display of your different modes, normal, sport, smart, and eco. So nice to have all those different modes. Graphics are clear. Doesn't do much of anything else. You can scroll through some information, a cornucopia of information in the center. But other than that, very straightforward. No head-up display, and I'm still bummed out that there's no sunroof in here. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the mid-row and see how you're gonna spoil the hell out of your passengers in the Carnival. All right, guys, 3rd row time. One thing to remember, very easy to get in and out of the Carnival or the Odyssey. Backs of the seats have the plastic. This is good because I know your kids are gonna kick your seat. They're gonna wipe their dirty, grubby hands all over the place. Interesting how they gave us a cargo net and then a solid pocket on the back. That's smart because if you're gonna put your Ginsu knives back here, it won't rip through the cargo net if you put it in this area. And to be honest with you, if you're putting knives in the back seat with your kids, I would have to question your parenting style. Very interesting. I would call this a command center, but there's really not too much going on. You do have your 2 cup holders, some flat black, which is nice because like I said, this will be easy to keep clean. 1 12-volt. Down below, you have a place for 4 Twinkies. And I like the way that you have the USB-Cs on backs of both the seats, and here's your controls for that chauffeur style seating. Up top, you do have your AC controls for the rear AC, and there is that camera system, which is perfect, especially if you have a young teenager that maybe isn't driving yet, but for some reason you're allowing them to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You can keep tabs on them on what's going on in the mid row and the 3rd row. I say they don't get a girlfriend until they get their own wheels and they have a job. If you're paying for them to go make out, we got to question that. Seats though, very comfy. You do have the manual security shades. Ooh, look how far back that reclined. I have to do it again. It almost surprised me. Wow, really nice on the recline. I got to fix this because my OCD There we go. What's great about the system is that I could slide my seat, or you could just slide the middle seat, or you could slide the other seat. So each of these slides on its own, which is great because some people want more room, some people want less room, some people want more recline, some people want less recline. So really nice to have that. And remember, the seats, especially the middle, does some special tricks, which I'll show you when we get to the cargo area. But let's get into the third row, because this is another area that just blows SUVs right out of the water for passenger volume. Let's get back there. All right, guys, third row time. There is a lot of nice space to get bodies into the third row. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not even touching the headliner, not even close to the seats in front of me. My knees are a little high. Kind of weird, but I do like the way you get 2 cup holders and a place to hold a Hostess cupcake, which is great. So you're getting double the drink capacity back here. USB-Cs on both sides. And then watch this. You ready? If I want to get a little bit more comfortable, which I do, that's really how you're going to want to sit back here, is put that seat back. Now, even though my knees are high, I don't feel so cramped. You even have, look at this, not a lot of brands have the sunshades on the third row. And I'm glad that they have that, because it's, I don't know, I don't like the look of when people have a vehicle and then they go get strips of window tint and they just stick it on to keep the sun off their kid's face. Like, it just looks so terrible. Instead of getting a window tint job, if you don't want to go that route, I like the way it's got the sunshades built right in. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area, because I'm going to show you this thing can haul a bunch of mail in this Carnival. All right, guys, cargo area time, and this is where any minivan, I don't care if you're looking at Carnival, Odyssey, Pacifica, Sienna, it's going to just destroy the amount of cargo space that you can get in an SUV. With the rear seats up, just look at how much space there is. You could turn this into a giant pool of Twinkies and literally put 288 Twinkies. How do I know? I've seen it done. Now back here, you do have a nice little cubby for when you go to the Renfest. You could get some of those big, huge turkey legs. This is where you're going to be able to put, probably want some toothpaste and some toothbrushes and bottles of water so people could brush all that crap out of their teeth. On the passenger side, you do have a 12 volt, perfect for when you go to the beach. And if you need to move the seats, it's very, very easy to do. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull and lay them down. And this is why I say that besides a big family of like 20 kids, if you're in like a rock and roll band, like a garage band, this is going to be so easy to move your equipment from your garage to your venues very, very easily. So you fold down the seats. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up and you're going to put them into the floor. Once upon a time, you would have to remove all these seats to get a nice flat space. Now what's awesome is you fold those seats down, you're looking at over 100 cubic feet of space. Right now you're looking at over 40 cubic feet of space. And one thing I want to point out is those USB-Cs that are on both sides in that third row that I was talking about when we had me sitting in the back seat. But nice to see just how easy it is to utilize the space. You can see the track in the center. Slide that forward and back, that center. And what's nice is that you could actually move it from the back. And then you could even do this. Watch this. You ready? And that's how you remove it. So this is actually totally removable to get a flat floor. Nice to see that. Nice to see that space. Obviously, you want to use that in extreme conditions because you're going to have to put these seats somewhere. And you're not going to want to just leave it in a parking lot like we are here right now. But why don't we go ahead? I'm going to get this seat back in. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this Kia Carnival. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Kia Carnival EX trim. I know many of you are waiting for the hybrid, but that is going to be coming shortly, I promise, so stay tuned. The good news is I'll be able to show you a lot of the changes on the interior and how it relates to the driving experience. What's awesome is with the new 12.3 inch screens, you got great access to the touchscreen, great visibility, especially through the steering wheel, of seeing the gauges and the instrumentation. And then, of course, like I said, I think that the naturally aspirated V6 is still going to be a greatly desired setup. But visibility's awesome. It does not feel like you're driving a minivan. It really does not. It feels more like an SUV, whereas the Honda Odyssey feels more like a minivan. And one of the ways that this doesn't feel like a minivan is that the hood is nice and high. The hood on the Odyssey really curves down sharply, and it gives it that specific minivan vibe to it, especially when you're looking out the windshield. But of course, the sound deadening material, the rigidity of the body, really done well in this Carnival, and allows you to be at ease while all the chaos is going on around you. You have your different modes, all by pressing the mode selector button. And of course, you're getting the full suite of Kia DriveWise safety features. But the seats are nice and supportive. I love the way that they're all just blacked out. That's gonna be easy to hide all the weird stains that your kids are gonna bring into the vehicle, or clean them up very easily. Steering feel is nice and balanced. It's not too heavy. And then making a U-turn in this thing is actually very simple. We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we are off and running. Good news is it's not too coarse of an engine note. Definitely sounds like a V6, and you have that linear torque delivery, which is gonna be nice and smooth for when you're driving, and when you wanna get the power will be there. It's not like in a turbocharged setup where you have to wait for the power, for the boost to kick in. But really incredible just how quiet it is in this vehicle, and just very smooth, very smooth. I love the color. This ivory silver, I think, really has a nice pop to it in the sun. And if you haven't driven a minivan before, this one actually has a nice ability to tell where your end point, your starting point is of the body, and the end point. On throttle, here we go. Like I said, that linear delivery of torque. Not the fastest, but remember, that's not what this vehicle is all about. It's all about getting as many people or as much stuff from point A to point B that you possibly can. But I really think that overall the driving dynamics are good. It just comes down to you know, how do you want your minivan? Do you like more the lineage of the reliability and price, holding its price very well, Odyssey, or are you more into the newer tech and the more modern style of the Kia K5? Excuse me, I keep saying K5, Kia Carnival. We did a K5 review, just so you know. But I think if you have not driven one of these, it's going to surprise you in a very good way. And another thing is, I love the way the suspension tuning soaks up all the bumps, all the ruts in the road, to really just provide you a nice driving environment. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Carnival is bringing, especially the EX trim for 2025. We're gonna get back to Loki Kia and wrap this one up, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here at Loki Kia. Definitely got to thank Robert, Dan, and the rest of the crew getting us this 2025 refresh and updated Kia Carnival EX trim. Let me know what you think. Are you going Carnival? Are you going Odyssey? How are you going to be moving around the people in your lives, which vehicle do you choose? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Need to give it up. Lori Raiti, working the camera as awesome as she does each and every time. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.